Men, listen, what I'm about to say to you is not for the faint-hearted, nor is it for those who just want comfort. It's for those who feel the pulse of responsibility in their bones and the weight of truth on their tongue. It seems like deception is sewn into the fabric of our society now. What was once called virtue is now called a vice. What once united us, things like family and faith and sacrifice, well, they're seen as obsolete and sometimes dangerous. I don't believe this is mere cultural confusion. I honestly believe that this is a strategy that's relentless and it's there for a reason. It seems like our values have been hollowed out and replaced with slogans that change thick and fast. Truth has been demoted and replaced with new ideologies. Whenever the wind blows, there's a new ideology. And unfortunately, justice is no longer pursued, but it's manipulated. The person who builds is now seen as the tyrant, and the father of children, well, obsolete. We don't need them. The one who defends borders is seen as a relic from the past. And the man who stands for something greater than himself, they're now seen as just plain dumb. What is this if it's not actual inversion? The turning upside down of society. I mean, what is it if it's not a calculated attempt to unravel everything that gives order and meaning? Just listen to the language being used. They speak of inclusion, but they exclude the faithful. They cry out for tolerance, but they offer none to those that are principled. They shout freedom, but they demand your silence. They require your apology for something you didn't do, and they call this justice. And what about our institutions? Those very places that we used to trust. It seems like our schools no longer educate, they indoctrinate. Our courts no longer weigh up truth, but they measure ideologies. Our media doesn't seem to investigate as much as it manipulates and manufactures. And probably the saddest of all, there are now some places of worship that bow down to hashtags rather than heaven. And sometimes I think to myself, how the heck did this happen? I don't think it's by accident, my friend. I think there's a strategy behind this. You see, while we were building, they were infiltrating. While we were raising children, they were changing language. While we were praying, they were plotting. This is an orchestrated inversion. This is an on-purpose changing of everything that we once knew. Truth is now seen as a lie. Evil now is seen as good. What was wrong is now seen as right. What was unacceptable, it's acceptable now. We went from a place of clarity to now confusion, a place of freedom to now fear. We've got to be careful what we say, how we say it, who we talk to. Not because we don't want to offend, but because we don't want to get in trouble. And we've gone from a place of having sovereignty, I'll make my own choices and have a free will, to a place now where it's your submission is demanded. Now, men, I don't say this to cause despair. Actually, I say it for the opposite reason. I say this so you can wake up, so you can listen, so you can watch, to be careful of what's happening around you and your family. I'm not summoning you to be in a place of guilt, but really I'm summoning you to have some grit, conviction, strength, to have an unshakable belief that even in a world turned upside down, the upright can still stand out. So let me ask you, men, will you carry truth even if it costs? Will you protect what's sacred even if it means being scorned? Are you willing to be mocked or misunderstood or maligned if it means that your children can grow up in a world where they're free to think for themselves? I want you to understand this. This battle for truth and for freedom is not won by comfort, but it's won by courage. What sort of courage? Good question. It's the courage to say what others won't, the courage to remain when others want to retreat, the courage to stand even if it means standing alone, the courage to be good when it's so much easier to be evil, and the courage to hold on to virtue when it's much easier and you see others Walk spineless. Understand this, men. History has never been kind to a coward, but to the brave it remembers, even when the brave are only a few. So men, sharpen your mind, guard your heart, prepare your voice, and above all else, do not yield. This madness may come to an end one day, it may not. But either way, you were born for this time. You were born on purpose and designed for a purpose. You're here on the planet now, not 100 years ago, not 100 years from now. And there's a reason for that. You can stand firm, not kneel, stay strong. You want to be the type of man where your children can look at you and say, my father stood for truth even when he was laughed at. In my next episode, I'm going to speak about purpose, meaning, and responsibility, and how important that is for you and your family. God knows we need more men who can stand firm, stay strong, be kind, and walk in honor. I'll see you out there.